Hi, I'm Yashwant. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome to the book club. So in this video, we are going to discuss about a book called Ikigai, the Japanese way of leading a happier life. So before jumping on into knowing about Ikigai, what actually Ikigai is. So Ikigai is a combination of two words, Iki plus Gai. So Iki stands for life and Gai stands for reason for being. So Ikigai is all about the art of living. So how to lead a happier life, how you can actually know the purpose of your life. It is what Ikigai is all about. So in this video we will see some important points that one should know about Ikigai book, and also how to know your purpose of life. The first observation for me in this book is how to find the purpose of your life, or you can say how to find your Ikigai. So as I said, Ikigai is all about how to find the purpose of your life. So how to find your Ikigai? Ask yourself a question: is there any reason for you to wake up in the morning? So if you have one, then ultimately you will lead a happier life. So that's the reason you need to find out a reason to wake up in the morning. It is all what Ikigai is all about. So but do you think you actually have a reason every day to waking up, or we are just waking up to do our routine things? Then ultimately you need to think about a lot of things. So before questioning yourself how to find your Ikigai, there are 10 rules that you need to follow. The first thing is stay active and don't retire. So what actually is retirement? We won't be active from now, then only we feel like we are retired. So according to Ikigai, if you want to stay happy throughout your life, then don't retire. Do anything that you love, but don't just retire and, I can say, stay inactive. And the other thing is take it slow. It is not that you need to complete everything in a single go. Take things slow and do things slowly. So that's the reason why you will get the chance to enjoy everything that you do. So don't be in a hurry all the day, and don't fill your stomach. So it was not like, it was not about the food actually, but don't satisfy yourself every day. If you have some bit of satisfaction, then ultimately you will find a reason to wake up tomorrow. So that's the reason why don't satisfy yourself, or I can say don't fill up your stomach in a complete way. It is also applicable to the food. If you eat heavy food now, then ultimately you won't find a reason to eat in the, I can say, evening or in the next day. And the other thing is surround yourself with good friends. So here good friends is all about good network. If you are surrounded in a positive and vibrant network, then ultimately you will feel happy all the time. But if you're surrounded with hate, and if you're surrounded with negative people, then ultimately you will lose yourself. And the other thing is get in shape for your next birthday. It's all about resolutions. So how you want to become in the next year. So goals are always helpful. So it's not that you don't need to have any goal. Of course goals and resolutions will really motivate you to wake up in the next morning with a happier note, because you have something to do. And the other thing is smile. Of course, always smile. Portion of happiness lies in the way that you smile. The other thing is reconnect with nature. Spend some time with nature. Travel the world, spend some time with nature. It really gives you some peacefulness, and you will get relaxed all the time. Give thanks. So you should be thankful to everything that you have. It's what we call gratitude sometimes. So you should be thankful to yourself, you should be thankful to the nature, and you should be thankful to the everyone who contributes to your success, or who contributes to your happier life. The other thing is live in the moment. Don't overthink about the past and the future. You just need to enjoy the moment, present moment. It is what Ikigai mainly mentioned. So you just need to experience the joy that is there in this moment, instead of thinking about tomorrow or yesterday. And the last thing is follow your Ikigai, follow your passion, follow your purpose of why you are here. And these are all the 10 rules of Ikigai one should know before jumping on into knowing your purpose. So Ikigai clearly mentioned 4 rules, or I can say 4 components to lead a happier life. So if you find out all these 4 components, then ultimately there is no restriction for you, or there is no stopping for you to lead a happier life. The first one is what you are actually good at. Know what you are actually good at. So it was not like what you actually love, but what you are actually good at. So some people don't actually know what they're good at. So even though, like, take an example, you love programming, but actually you're not good at programming. So you need to understand this difference. So you are good at something, so you are good at designing, but you don't consider that as your skill. So whatever it might be, like you are a good sports player, but you are actually not realizing that, just focusing on some other things. Know what you are good at. This is something that you need to know. And the second thing is know what you can be paid for. So it was like a job, I can say. You also need to concentrate on your profession. Knowing what you can be paid for is important skill. You need to know that, because not every skill that you love, not every skill that you're good at will pay you money. You also need to realize what is the one thing that you can be easily paid. So whatever it might be a job in, I can say, it might be an IT job, or it might be a writing job. So even though you don't like that, you're not good at that, but ultimately if you can put some effort, you will be paid. Then ultimately you need to learn that what the world needs. So this is something that most of the people will ignore. So of course you are good at something, you will be paid for something, but is the world actually needs that? It is something that you need to think of, because the thing that you're doing, if the world doesn't need that, then ultimately at some point you feel like you're not doing anything to the world, you are not doing anything to yourself. It is the reason you also need to realize what the world actually needs, and are you satisfying the world needs. So these are all the things that you need to know about. Other thing is what you love. This is something that I told in the beginning. It is different from what you are good at, because of course there are some people who love cricket but they don't know how to play cricket. It's something that you can treat it as your passion. You love that, but you're not actually good. That thing is, you need to realize what you actually love. If you satisfy all these four, if you know what you are good at, what you will be paid for, what the world actually needs, and what you love, then ultimately the real purpose of your life will start. Let's look at this. So if you satisfy any two among these four, let's see. So if you know what you love, and if you know what you are actually good at, then it is your passion. What you love is what you are good at, then ultimately you can call it as a passion. So if that actually happens, then what are the things that you need to know apart from this? So you also need to know how you can actually be paid for your passion. You also need to know how you can satisfy the need of the world using your skill, or using the thing that you love, and using the thing that you're good at. So it comes under the passion. So if you're already, I mean, if the things are actually same for what you love and what you're good at, then you need to care about the other two. And while looking at the other two, so if you know what you're good at, and it is something that you are actually paying for, which means, so you're good at writing, let's suppose you're good at writing, the job that you're doing is also belongs to writing side, then ultimately you're satisfied, like you're good at that and you are being paid for that. Then you need to realize the other two. I mean, what you love, is it something that you're actually loving? I mean, you're good at writing. Is it something that you love actually? You need to realize this. Is it beneficial to the world in any way? Or is it something that you love? You need to focus on these two things. So, if you satisfy this profession, so it is what we call as profession. So, because you are good at that, and that is the reason why you're being paid. So, it is your profession. So if you are in a profession, but if you don't know what you actually love, and if you don't know whether the world needs it or not, then ultimately at one point you feel like, I'm good at this, but I'm getting paid, but is it something that I really love? So you will, I mean, you will get a saturation point where you feel exhausted. So that's the reason you also need to realize the other two. And look at this. If you know what the world needs, and it is something that you're actually paying for, then ultimately you can call it as a vocation. Vocation is like thing that is suitable for you. So world needs that, and you are also being paid for the same thing. So it is okay, because you are satisfying the needs of the world, you are being paid for that. Then ultimately at some point you feel like, but I'm not good at that. But what is the point of it if you're not good at that, and if you're not interested in that, or if you don't love that? You also need to realize the other two. So it is what we call it as vocation. So in general, vocation is different from profession. Profession is something where you work on the thing that you're good at, but vocation is something that needs, I mean, that is suitable for you, but it doesn't mean you are actually good on that. So based on the lifestyle, or based on the locality that you came from, it is suitable for you, but it might not be the thing that you love, and it might not be the thing that you are actually good at. And look at the last thing. So if you know what you love, and it is what the world needs, then ultimately you can call it mission. Or I can say, you have a startup idea, so you have an idea from your beginning, and that is something that you love, and world also needs that. You are solving a real time problem of the cult as a mission. You are on a mission to achieve that, but you also need to realize the other two. Is it something that you're good at? If you're not good at that thing, then how can you actually achieve your mission? And you also need to think about whether it can be a paid thing. So if it's something that will not pay you, then ultimately there is no point of that, because if something is not paying you, you cannot survive for too much time, you cannot enjoy the process. So that's the reason why you need to also concentrate on other things. So if you know what your mission is, then ultimately accordingly you need to work on improving yourself, and also finding a way that how your mission will pay you. These are the four components of ikigai. So if you satisfy these four components of your life, then ultimately you will find the purpose of your life, and you will find a reason to wake up in the morning. So it is what ikigai is all about. So it is something that Japanese people mostly talk about. It is very effective. So if you can figure out, and if you can find out what are all the four things, so if you realize what you love, if you realize what is that something that will pay you, and if you realize what you are actually good at, and if you realize what the world actually needs from you, then ultimately you can lead a happier life. You can find a purpose for your life. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please like this video so that YouTube will recommend to others who are interested to know about this book. Also, if you are a first time visitor to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.